Here it is, everybody. Match point for Cosmic Riders against Random Number Generator. Here we are in what could possibly be the final game of the night, Primus. What surprise does RNG break out now?
Well, they tried the Cogmall, and I don't think the Cogmall worked very well. I mean, it did some okay things, but it just was the Dyslexic wasn't able to stay alive to actually impact in team fights. This is the first time we've seen a ban change for Cosmic Riders. They are taking the Maokai off the table.
There it is. There's the Maokai ban, along with the. That's huge. Cosmic just doesn't.
Ori's still on the table, though it did fall through the draft last time.
No, the second time we went into Champ Select was actually banned, and I don't know if that was a miscue or something like that. I don't know what happened there, but so Misfortune is going to be the final ban. And one thing I like to note is we've seen almost zero LCS champions picked tonight. We have seen,
minus the top lane tanks.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen no Kha'Zix, we've seen no Rengar, we've seen no Syndra, Cassiopeia, Ryze, we've seen no Jhin. We saw Varus in the mid lane last game, which is something we haven't been seeing. We did see the Nami, so that is to be expected. But this game, we are seeing Nautilus finally, and kind of the epitome of flex pick right now. Top support. You never know until everything's locked in. That being said, now it is up to RNG to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Their drafts have just simply not been working out. Things haven't been clicking at one point or another. So it's interesting to see what they're going to pick now. Ezreal Renekton. Definitely just throwing caution to the wind. You have a must-win lane in the Renekton. And you have a passive lane in the bottom lane. I've only seen Ezreal take advantage of lethality once. And I believe I actually casted with Primus that game.
Yep, I remember that. That Ezreal was a little far ahead, though, so it was a little alright, but I'm still a little suspect about the whole idea.
The tier into Ghostblade, you don't see that as the just must-pick meta on Ezreal?
I'm sorry, I hate to ruin your hopes and dreams, Doctor, but I don't think that is the ideal build for Ezreal.
Ha, joke's on you. I actually tried it out after that weekend and lost. So, who's the real winner there?
Hey, it's the Vi pick, which I talked about last game, but I think the real thing to talk about is Piston Switch on Varus again.
However, as we talked about a couple times now, the Orianna slips through, the Orianna gets covered. It's not picked yet, but this could be game changer. This could be what Schlid needs to get that confidence back, take the mid lane over, and kind of help his team out. The only problem is
I
that
want to quickly slip in. He actually played really well despite the lane disadvantage he had. Like, he was probably the bright part of the team in that last game. Like, he played very well on that Lux. It's just the issue is he's been down 60, 70 CS to Piston Switch in all of the games so far. So if he can stabilize his laning phase... No! No!
So, the Lee Sin is locked in once again for Funky Twinkie. It is a bit suspect. I do want to see more meta junglers coming in for these two players just in general. The Vi pick can work very well. Huge abuser of Courage of the Colossus and not a huge amount of leeway. You don't need to be so on the dot with Vi. You can miss a couple vault breakers here or there, but you don't have the same leeway on the Lee Sin. So that just for the betterment of both players, I would like to see the Rek'Sais, the Graves, which was banned all 3 games, so there's nothing you can do there. There's still the Kha'Zix, the Rengar, just, these picks that nobody really seems to want to play in this series.
Hold up. We're seeing Nautilus support, guys. That is a Swain top lane. I love me some Bird.
Hold up. That's a little premature. It could be Swain's support. It was locked in by KDR.
Do not ruin my hopes and dreams, okay?
No.
I get to see my Vi and my Swain in the same game, okay?
Yeah, Swain support. It has everything you need in a support player. It has a slow. It has a hard CC in the never move. It has a damage amplification. And then in its ultimate, it never dies. It's the quintessential support pick.
Except for the fact that it actually needs gold.
We're just going to disregard that, considering supports seem to get more gold than 80 carries these days.
That's your own fault that you mean ADC.
Yeah, completely disregard everything else.
We're going all in the early game, boys. We got ourselves a win by 25 minutes composition.
I
Let's
want
go.
to see Ziggs Nautilus bot lane with Varus mid. And I think that's actually what we're going to see here.
Do you see any reason not to give Piston Switch Varus again?
It's an 80 carry. But
it's also Piston Switch who just did 87,000 damage on the champion.
It was a 59-minute game. He could have been on almost any champion and done that much damage. He had like 12 kills.
I don't think it was 12. I think he only had 8 kills.
It was 59 minutes. There's a lot of room for damage there.
I'm pretty sure Karma can't do 87,000 damage in a 59-minute non-inting game. Like in a regular solo queue game.
There was that game last season where Bjergsen got the pentakill. I bet if that game went
2 seasons ago, not last season.
Okay, I bet if that game had gone 59 minutes, we would see a similar number on the Karma. Plus, Zyras do that in like 30 minutes games these days. Zyra's just stupid. But we're getting off track.
All I'm getting is PJ Salt from you. That's all I hear.
We're getting off track. So here we go. Looking in this game, it is locked in. It is Ziggs 80 carry with Nautilus support heading into Ezreal Leona. And I can't see a way Ezreal Leona even participate in this lane.
Really? Whatever gave you that idea? The fact that Nautilus wins almost every melee support matchup, except for against Tom Kench. And Trundle, but Trundle's not really meta support anymore, so he doesn't count. And Ziggs AFK lane shoves, and Ezreal has very little wave clear. So they don't get to do anything unless Funky Twinkie decides to pay a visit bot lane. And Swain should just be okay. Renekton, you did not take Ignite, so you can't really ever kill me if I play the way Swain should play. Which is basically, you just don't get to all-in me ever.
Yeah, I mean, looking at these two team comps, this Swain just in a vacuum wins the game, I feel. I mean, you're going to get a Merlinomicon on Orianna, presumably. It's just everything she needs. The Grievous Wounds is definitely there. The problem is Grievous Wounds only procs at 35% of your health.
However, we could see Roy pick up an early Executioner Sculling and just sit on it. Just to give him that all-in potential onto Limelight Kiwi.
Yeah, very true. I mean, it definitely makes sense, and I mean,
it's 800 gold. Like, it's not like it's a huge investment for the item anyway.
It's less than a Kindle Gem. Let's put it that way.
Wait, no, Kindle Gem's 800 gold too. I thought
it was 850. Pretty sure it's 850.
I could be crazy, but I thought it was 800. I don't know.
But either way, it's sacrificing your health for kill potential, which on Renekton is really the risk you have to take. I mean, they've made some changes to the game, some changes to Renekton and Masteries and Runes and all that fun stuff that actually make Renekton not the steaming pile that he is post 25 minutes previously. Now he's semi-relevant come late game. He has damage. He has tanky stats just due to Mastery change. So, I mean, it's not the all-in it used to be.
Yeah, it's no longer, okay, win lane, win game, or lose lane and lose game hard. It's more of win lane, win game still, but lose lane, you can still kind of be relevant, so you don't always lose game.
Yeah, I mean, you're still the tanky member that your team needs. You have a stun. That's more useful than a lot of top laners can be. But just looking at the team comp, I mean, I talked about Swain in a vacuum, but just looking at the rest of the team, Vault Breaker knocks people out away from Cosmic's carries, Chains of Corruption, Satchel Charge plus Minefield, Depth Charge plus Dredgeline plus Nautilus's E, which I can't remember. Riptide. There's just a lot preventing Roik from getting in there. Same with Funky Twinkie. There's just a lot of barriers they're going to have to get by. And I want to see them do it. I honestly do. I want to see this go 5 games. I want to see them pick, pick the picks they need. I'm worried that the stars aren't going to align.
The difference in team compositions is the team composition that they have put together for Cosmic Riders is a massive amount of zone control. You have all the zone control from Swain. You have the area of threat from Vi with the Vault Breaker into Assault and Battery, or just the Assault and Battery. You have the area of threat from the piercing arrows from Varus. You have the minefield from Ziggs. You have bouncing bombs. You have Mega Inferno Bomb. Plus Nautilus on top of that. It's going to be extremely difficult for Random Number Generator to ever effectively get a good fight, because there's just so much they have to go for. They're going to have to try to get vision control and use this Leona to try to generate picks, because Hupalicious on this Leona is going to be the riding force of this game, because he's really the only significant source of crowd control outside of ultimates and a Renekton W.
And Leona's that kind of hero or champion that, can do that. I mean, Leona has the tools needed to make it happen. It kind of once again requires what I was talking about last game, where calls need to be made and the team needs to follow it. I mean, you need everybody to just collapse, and if they landed on Piston, then good. If they landed on Pocket, great. Even if they landed on KDR, it's a support Nautilus. It's not gonna be the just infinite health tank that people are used to seeing. So I mean, the Leona can make a lot happen this game, and I honestly think she's gonna be more impactful than the Lee Sin and Renekton.
I would definitely completely agree with you on that point, just because I haven't been too impressed with Royce, with how he's played so far this series. Limelight Kiwi's been pretty much winning laning phase regardless of matchup. However, we are seeing the early push advantage for the side of Random Number Generator in the bot lane, just because of the delayed rotation over due to the leash.
Yeah, and so the teams did swap sides. That was Primus's bit of confusion there. But no, the teams did swap sides. Random Number Generator on the red side, Cosmic Riders on the blue side. And, you mentioned that Cosmic lost that push. Do you think that's a bit worrying for the Ziggs? I mean, he's picked to fast push that tower, do whatever he wants in this lane. Do you think that it's not going to matter in 2 levels, or do you think that's actually super impactful?
It's just the difference in the getting to lane. That's all that push difference was. They should be able to get lane priority back here shortly now that they've been able to get the wave reset. It was just
Piston actually getting engaged upon. The distortion not going to land, but Piston should be going down. One more auto. First blood over onto Funky Twinkie. And this is what I wanted to see last game from him. More early game.
well, it is a good start. He is able to get first blood, but it did go on to him, and we saw he got kills early on the Lee Sin in game 1, but he didn't do a lot with that.
And we'll just have to see how that pans out. We do see Roik already not having the best of top lane experiences. He is Renekton though, so I'm curious to see how it pans out. And is that a grasp of the Undying on Swain? It looked like it.
I didn't have a chance to check, but if it is, I'm tilted.
So I'm pretty sure that was.
That's
it
the
is.
only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, it is Grasp of the Undying. We do see a good hook onto Dyslexic CDR or KDR. Ending up not too worse for wear. He is Nautilus after all.
I mean, it's not like Nautilus is tanky or anything.
It's support. I mean, he's got like 1,200 gold already. Another big hook onto Dyslexic. Actually, Minefield comes down. Bouncing bomb. Gonna land Dyslexic. Super forced on the run. Flash. Auto not gonna land. This could be the turnaround. Zenith Blade lands on a KDR. Can Dyslexic do anything? Exhaust comes in. There's the thundering blow. And it is not enough. Hupalicious saving the Ezreal. Picks up the kill.
I feel like in that scenario, taking the kill as a support is justified because you're keeping your ADC alive. And that's kind of the most important thing in the early game is making sure your ADC, especially in Ezreal, can get that proper tier back. Because the thing about Ziggs is he has very bizarre back timings. Depending on the build you go, he can still technically go the tier build. I don't see it as much. I generally see
the Morello.
The Morello Nomicon, and he's actually significantly down in CS.
For a Ziggs, I mean, 9 CS, not the end of the world. It's a wave and a half. But when you're a Ziggs carry, Ziggs AP carry in the bot lane, especially against the Ezreal, I mean, just looking at the kits, you know that Ziggs has the push advantage there.
Yeah, you should be able to get the wave onto tower and force the other side of the matchup to lose CS to tower, rather than you yourself losing CS to tower.
But, I mean, we see the kill going over. Tier already finished on the Ezreal. I do expect tier Trinity Force to be the build path. It's generally the accepted path right now. So I expect that to be next up.
Especially because the only person he's really going to be autoing in terms of chase potential is Swain, because Vi is going to be jumping right on top of him or Orianna, so kiting Vi isn't going to happen. And everyone else is going to be at 1,000 range minus Nautilus.
Support roam coming to the mid lane. Schlid is level 6, but it's not going to matter. Change the corruption, dredge line. All it takes to kill the robot.
Hey, he was doing his best Mata impersonation.
So, level 6 in the top lane as well. Limelight instantly pops his ultimate and gets that grasp peel. And you say tilted, but it's working. Grasp of the Undying Swain is working.
It's not the ideal, though. Like, taking Deathfire Touch is much more of a carry-oriented Swain. If you're just looking to be a tank and not a actual carry.
Piston Wish returns the favor for his support. Dredgeline, though, just a bit outside. Funky Twinkie, though, he's kind of behind enemy lines here. Courage of the Colossus shield coming in for Gamma, but the arrow, Twinkie.
There's no Vault Breaker, though. Vault Breaker was already used, so. It's easy getaway for Funky Twinkie.
It was a bit hairy. I mean, there were 4 members there. If they just kind of circled them and just said, "You're in the wrong neighborhood, kiddo," then it would have been a very hairy situation very quickly.
What is you in hairy situations? No comments.
I'm a bear. But
anyway, Funky Twinkie is... This is a significant CS differential that we're seeing here. He's down 30 CS.
And, we talked about jungle CS numbers being basically irrelevant just because of the number of minions that are not worth any gold. But as we mentioned last game, a 10 to 20 CS differential, not necessarily impactful. Leaning towards 30, that means something. That means you're not taking your Krugs, that means you're not taking your Raptors, or it just simply means you're not doing anything.
No, you're still doing something. It's just you're not doing your jungle. You're doing wandering around the map.
He's going on a leisurely stroll through the dangerous pits of the Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. It generally doesn't very end up well for you. Unless you're Bard, and then Bard just doesn't really care. But
he's a cosmic being. He's like not a god, because cosmic being different, but I don't know, he just does his own thing. He's Bard.
Anyway, back to the game. I didn't talk as much about the Swain as I wanted to talk about, because the thing about Swain into Renekton specifically is Renekton actually generally does well into range matchups just because of his slice and dice. However, the issue of that within the Swain is in order for him to get in range, he has to use both ends of that, and he has
level 6 available. Chains of Corruption gonna land, but the flash shockwave is not there. The auto is, however. Kill going over on to Piston. That's second of the game already. Hutbalicious doing what he can to save his jungler. Resonating Strike is going to land. That is not one you wanted to follow. Funky Twinkie will be taken down by Limelight Kiwi. And Vault Breaker comes in, forces the flash from Hutbalicious. True Shard Barrage didn't really do a whole lot.
Roik, it was the zoning tool. It was a zoning ult.
Roik did not have his TP available. He had just used it top lane. Gonna get a bit of tower damage though. That's worth, right? I mean, it was a 1-for-1 trade, right? It was Lee Sin for Varus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since it was a 1-for-1, however, Vi's getting farther and farther ahead. And well, yes, Schlid is doing much better on the Orianna and has actually had a CS lead. Orianna presses R, and there's not a lot Orianna can do.
I don't necessarily agree with that. Roik, though, is a bit worse for wear. Forced to flash, actually. But I am actually going to disagree with you on that Orianna point, actually. Orianna has low enough cooldowns on her command attack, along with just the insane damage her autos use, that, yeah, Shockwave's her most dangerous tool, but even a manaless Orianna is something to be afraid of. Hutbalicious gets trapped in a minefield. Meanwhile, Dyslexic taking tons of damage. However, Pocket Cookie's getting completely trapped out. Too many tower shots onto Hutbalicious, though. Forced to run away. And this should be Roik going down. Barely. He's going to live.
Just a bit short. Unfortunately, Pocket Cookies used the ultimate early, so wasn't able to try to secure any kills on the back end. But they did disfuse the gank, albeit they did burn both of Pocket Cookie's summoners for none traded of their own. So it was a win for the side of Random Number Generator, but Swain is slowly whittling away at this tower. Anyway, to go back to what I was saying about the matchup in and of itself is, unlike other bruisers which have mobility and can dash.
Funky Twinkie gonna get caught up. Chains of Corruption seals the deal. Piston picking up himself a return kill finally.
Is the CD on his dash at rank 1 is 14 seconds from whether he uses both dashes or if he just uses one dash and then lets the cooldown expire to get the second one off. And that's plenty of time for Swain to look to land a never move.
Or just simply use the Grasp of the Undying auto to just make it worth his while. There is the stun, but Roy gets trapped up. Not a lot of mana available for Limelight, so he's just going to auto his way to victory.
We did see the early Executioner's Falling pickup, like I mentioned, so that will allow Roy to have the potential to all in, but it's still going to be difficult for him to do so.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about 800 gold not being a lot in the grand scheme of things. However, it is a lot when you're on a spike champion like Renekton. Gamma Chaos, tons of just base damage. Funky Twinkie should be going down here. Heal gets popped. Dragon Rage in, but the Dragon Rage actually knocks him out of the Solar Flare, and which means Gamma Chaos gets the kill and gets out.
Hashtag calculated.
So if the Lee Sin just kicks me at this exact angle, at this exact time, meanwhile Dredgeline lands, Gamma Chaos picking up herself another kill. Meanwhile, solo kill in the top lane. Orianna makes her presence known with that shockwave, picks up the kill. Gamma Chaos doing what he can. Gonna dodge out on that Dredgeline and Vault Breaker though. Schlidge super low. One more auto. However, he's running back into the Nautilus. That is his doom. Now Hupalicious has no mana, no will to live. Dredgeline is right there. Minefield, Satchel Charge, Bouncing Bomb. There's just so much coming in, but it's apparently not enough. Funky Twinkie, though, just scariness everywhere.
I think his light flashed before his eyes right there.
I mean, he's Lee Sin. He's blind. He can't see anything anyway.
That doesn't mean he doesn't have eyes.
Maybe? That's one of those situations where, like, we don't actually know. Riot's never said if he has eyes or not.
I believe if you actually took the time to read his lore, it still says he does have eyes, if I remember correctly.
Does he actually have lore? They got rid of a lot of the lore. Arcane Shift is not enough. Gonna get hit by the Dredgeline. True Shot Barrage will not clear the wave, however, and this is scary for this tower. Ziggs is the #1 tower taker in the game thanks to the changes on his Satchel Charge. The Flash Solar Flare into Zenith Blade combo not gonna land. Pocket Cookies, though, has a low health total, so he will get taken down. Dredgeline to safety should seal that, but there's also a Swain. Surprise! Birdman. But Hupalicious went the opposite way. So now the Dragon Man, Kiwi Man, what more can he do? There's the final auto, and that's what happens when your support is not your friend. He lets you die to bird people. Hashtag AD carry lives matter.
Whoa, jeez. Please do not make that hashtag a thing. Please, for the love of God, do not make that a thing.
Make it happen, Ascension. AD carry lives matter, but so do Dragon lives, and in this case, the Infernal goes to Cosmic Riders, which is huge, actually. And yeah, explain why.
Other than the fact that they have 2 super heavy poke champions and a Swain, who all benefit quite heavily from extra AD and AP. As the True Shot Barrage, just like everyone.
Twinkie tried to make a play, and the enemy team just said, "Not today." Sacrifices his life. Tower goes down. Schlid also doing what he can, but Limelight is just there. Shutdown coming in finally, but it is a 2-for-1 trade with the tower also going over to Cosmic Riders.
Definitely a all-around win. However, something I want to mention, Pistol Switches died more in 18 minutes this game than in the previous hour and 35 minutes of the last 2 games.
Yeah, so you didn't die game 1, died twice game 2, already up to 3. So I think we're actually going on closer to 2 hours. I forget exactly how long the first game was, but
It was like 35, 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. I don't know. It was a long game. It's been a long night. And we're still watching some League of Legends.
I was saying,
boys.
we've only
Let's
played 2
go.
games, too. This could still go to Game 5.
Please, for the love of God, don't. Don't
No.
encourage them.
I want Game 5, so if we see Cosmic actually FF in the next 2 minutes, the dream is alive. But that being said, there's a lot going in favor of Cosmic right now, and it could be more in just a second. I'm waiting for Limelight's Rylai's to come in, so that way that never move just turns into a kill. But until that happens,
I don't think he's going Rylai's. I believe that is Zhonya's is his next buy.
I feel like that if you don't build Rylai's as a Swain, you're wrong. But depth charge from the bush, the sneakiest depth charge is the deadliest, but that will almost, there it is, seal the deal for Dyslexic. Meanwhile, his support is left to pick up the pieces of her broken heart, and unfortunately they killed her before she could.
Wait, Leona had a heart?
I think it's the sun. It's like an Iron Man situation where you just have a solar reactor in your chest, but it shattered, so that's why she died, I think. I don't know.
I give you a 10 out of 10 for that try, though. You're making progress, Doctor. You're making progress.
I'm still missing that elusive 5-7, but never move. Gonna go wide. Kiwi's actually finally taking damage. Resonating strike lands. Please don't follow. Twinkie.
My mind is telling me no. And he listened to his mind this time, guys. He learned.
Brain over brawn. Work smarter, not harder.
Unless your name is Brom.
In which case, you're Braum. You feed little Poros cookies and they sprout mustaches like an STD. But
hey, I thought this was PG-13.
PG-13 can still get STDs. That's a story for another day. But so here we did see that after that double kill in the bot lane, Cosmic Riders had enough people to just continue the push. They were able to pick up that tier 2 bot tower, and so now with Dragon should be coming up in like 2 minutes, I believe.
I think it's like 2.5, but pretty much 2 minutes.
Yeah. So with that coming up soon-ish, what's the next move? I mean, we see Gamma getting locked up here, but
it's a Vi.
Yeah. It's 4 seconds on her Vault Breaker. It doesn't matter if you interrupt it. Schlid, though, a bit deep. Chains of Corruption is going to land. Shockwave lands onto just CDR. Super Mega Inferno Bomb not going to kill anybody, but the Solar Flash onto Piston could seal the deal. KDR is living with like 6 HP. Zenith Blade seals that, though, and Blast Cone keeps everybody alive for now. Limelight finally taken low, has the Grievous Wounds on, finally gets slain. Piston, though, on the back end, throwing out arrows, and that could be very impactful if you're RNG right now.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to get this tower because the wave clear is all still available, and it's a Ziggs and a Varus.
Yeah, I mean...
So while, yes, they do get 2 kills, and don't lose anyone, albeit it was very close, it's still a long ways out for Drago. We still have a minute left on that timer before...
That being said, it is... that's just a misplay from Dyslexic there. Should have known he can't get away in that situation. He might get a kill. Auto, no! Ah! Gamma, please! He just wanted... Dyslexic just wanted a fair, level, equal 1v2. And Gamma, with the BM, punched him in the face. I've never seen anything more disrespectful.
He is playing buys, so you act as if this is unexpected.
I mean, when was the last time you got punched in the face during a 1v2? Oh, wait, you're the filthy Vi player.
And you're the ADC player, so why are you complaining?
Because I'm getting punched in the face. We talked about this. Dragon spawns. 80 carry now alive.
I punching you in the face as Vi, so you weren't allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah, my face is just shattered because her fists are giants.
But we're memeing too much. We apologize. We apologize, Twitch chat. We are memeing too hard.
So, super unlucky there if you're a Twinkie. The piercing arrow was actually just enough to steal the Scuttle Crab. Twinkie obviously wanting to hold on to his smite for the dragon. Dredgeline, though, that was one of those weird situations where it didn't land.
Wait, that ability can miss?
I'm surprised, right? And with a actually non-lack of magic resistance on Roik already, he's just getting annihilated in these trades. Limelight finally getting on the worse for wear end. Doesn't have...
Well, he doesn't have bird form going.
But he also has the grievous wound, so I mean it's not super impactful. I mean Roik can stop a lot of the healing, but at this point he's playing afraid. But he's doing what he can. Twinkie though, there was an award in that bush. I refuse to believe that was actually warded when he just straight up walked in there.
Well, he is a blind monk, so...
We did talk about this. He doesn't actually have eyes. Solar Flare in. Piston gets locked up with the Shield of Daybreak. Shockwave into Dredgeline, though. We're talking about how it just simply can't miss. But KDR now kind of caught. Does die, but Dragon did go over to Cosmic Riders. RNG gets hit by the bird from downtown. Birds just everywhere. Double kill for Limelight. Flash stun from Roik. Not under tower, though. Now he's stuck in a bad situation. Rock and a bird place. He is going to survive for now, but I feel like this tower's not quite as lucky.
Not really, because there's still a lot of punishment coming in with both Piston and Pocket Cookies in this lane. This tower is not long for this war.
They didn't even need to use the satchel charge. Like, satchel charge wasn't even needed there. They just kind of let it sit. And I'd like to.
It was the intimidation factor. It's just like, I don't even need this.
Well, he does only have 1 point in the satchel charge, which I did just check on just to find out. So it does only kill towers at 25%. I know it's a lot, but it's a lot to ask to get towers down to 25% before Ziggs can just delete it. But that being said, things are definitely looking bleak for Cosmic. What remaining life do they have? They've run out of quarters. The time's running low. What kind of...
You hope for a pick. You use Hupalicious, who's actually been playing very well in the Leona. I don't think I've seen a miss, like actually hardcore miss a Solar Flare yet. Albeit I haven't seen him. But he's been landing some very nice ultimates, and if he can actually get the good follow-up damages, why, Shield, why are you building a Rylai's on Orianna? I don't understand. You don't build that item on her anymore.
I simply don't have an answer for you. Good two-man never move, though, coming out of Limelight. Limelight gonna get trapped up, locked up. He's just so tanky, however. Depth charge goes in. Pistons gets a kill. Super Mega Inferno Bomb is gonna land onto one on Hupalicious. Arcane Shift out. Dyslexic's doing what he can. There is no Shockwave available. 5 versus 4. Assault and Battery goes in. Vault Breaker onto 2. The health bars are gone. The team is gone. Team fight going the way of Cosmic Riders, and that could be game. They don't have any minions though. So, I mean, this is...
It's inhibitor. Maybe. Minions are almost here, and there is a Ziggs, so...
True, and 25% is the breaking point. However, that True Shot Barrage did work.
Yeah, they might not be able to get one. They do have a large wave stacking in the bot lane. It looks like Gamma and KDR are going up to the top lane, grabbing that wave. Getting that one set up pressure-wise. They don't have Dragon up for another 2.5 minutes, I want to say. So they're looking to possibly establish Baron vision control, look to bait Baron, get another team fight, take the Baron, and then end the game.
Yeah, and the game's pace at this stage is so much more accelerated than the last game we saw. We did see a stall out last game when it came to breaking that inhibitor curse, but with the mid lane inhibitor already so low, plus with a Ziggs, I feel like we're not going to have that kind of stall again.
At least not on the side of RNG stalling.
So, Gamma Chaos super tanky, actually. Solar Flare in onto CDR. Missed Shockwave in the background. 3-man Super Mega Inferno Bomb. Just damage going everywhere, all over the map. Gamma Chaos is dominating that Leona. Not much more to say. Funky Twinkie, double kill for Gamma Chaos. Twinkie is the sacrifice there. Mid lane tower should be going down. Piston, though. Those Mystic shots, they're not tickles. Unless you're Limelight Kiwi.
Yeah, they do add up damage-wise. He does have his Mirror Mana upgrade. He does have his Triforce. He's looking on his last Whisper. It believes that he does also have an Executioner's Calling. So very nice build pass. I do actually appreciate that, because the number of times I play Swain and the enemy team never builds those items and I just never die and they wonder why I never die, and it's just like, well, you didn't build this item, so it's not my fault.
True. That being said, you can make some plays on Swain regardless of Executioner's Calling. I've had games go 90 minutes just because of Swain's balance. I've had 5 Executioner's Callings, and it's just like, he doesn't die. He's just a forever Birdman. And then I cry and cry and cry.
You act as if you know already. Cry, cry, and cry.
That's not my fault. It's my upbringing. But
we digress.
So now it is once again back to the Baron play. That last team fight could have gone a bit differently. Actually, it wasn't crazy. It was just 2 kills towards the side of Cosmic, but the Shockwave landed in a bush and didn't actually touch anybody. So I mean that could be different this time around.
Yeah, if they could get the proper setup, get the ball into the right position off the back of Huppalicious, it's entirely possible that they can make a game-saving team fight here within the next few minutes if they can get the proper Shockwave, because even though he went the wrong second item,
Huppalicious gets knocked up. Solar Flare onto Kiwi, though. That could be the minute. Funky Twinkie doesn't have enough damage. Dragon goes down. Teleport coming in. Zonia's went off. Kiwi is still alive. Limelight picks up a killing spree. What more can he do? How more can he get? Gets a double kill. This could be the triple. Roik is still alive. It goes over to Ziggs, actually, and Kiwi was nowhere near it. Kiwi picking up the triple kill. Can he get the quadra? Gamma Chaos not going to chase down Dyslexic. And with a huge wave in the top lane, that top lane is going to crash in. This could actually be all 3 inhibitor towers going the way of Cosmic right now. So, Ziggs pushing the bot lane. Gamma Chaos and KDR in the mid lane. 1 tower down. Top tower gonna go down. Mid tower gonna go down. Just all the walls are caving in onto RNG right now, and it seems like the generator was not in their favor. Dyslexic with the late arcane shift gonna get tagged up anyway, and Roik is trying to do what he can in the mid lane. Kiwi gets kicked at his AD carry.
I had put the talk on. Feels bad, man.
Kiwi gets kicked into his AD carry. Talks about feels bad, man. Big 3-man Shockwave, though. Orianna not going down without a fight in the mid lane. However, 2 inhibs down, 3rd on its way with Orianna no mana. Orianna knocked up. What more can they do? Dredgeline in, slammed down with the alley-oop, and almost survives the hail of arrows on the tail end, though. Seals the deal and should seal the game. Tower 1 going down. Satchel Charge should be planted on this second one. There it is. There's Funky Twinkie, the only one remaining. Exhaust, death. Pocket Cookies picking that up for himself. That is the Nexus going down. That is series over. That is Cosmic Riders coming back for a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, very well played from Cosmic Riders. They really wasn't ever a doubt in any of the games that they were going to lose. Uh, I mean, albeit the second game was a marathon game, they weren't ever really behind in any of the games. Like by a serious amount, it was just very well played. Still, he could be a little bit cleaner from them, but it was very nice to see some other players pick up the slack. When Piston did have his worst game of the series here, and Limelight Kiwi brought out the big boy shorts, did a lot of work on that. Bird is the word up in that top lane.
Yeah, and it almost seemed like a draft issue on that last game. And, you'll hear it from pretty much everybody. There are almost zero hard counters in League of Legends. It's very rare that you have one champion just completely invalidate another one. But I feel like this Swain into Renekton was almost as close as it comes to that just complete shutdown. And unfortunately, it happened. It wasn't one of those games where Renekton just pops off and ends up killing the Swain, but
there was also no jungle pressure in the lane though. Like it was literally just a straight 1v1 top lane.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Kiwi. He knew what he was doing on those champions. All three of them actually. He won the Maokai into Poppy matchup. The first game, he won the Poppy into Maokai matchup. I think I said those properly.
Game 2, he played Poppy into Maokai. Game 3, he played Maokai into Poppy.
I think that's
that
wrong.
Might have been what you said, but
he played Maokai. I don't know.
It was
Brain
game 3, he
fried.
played Maokai.
Yeah, he played both sides of the matchup, won both sides of the matchup. Game 4 of the night, 4 match point, we see a completely different set, and he wins that one as well. That being said, hard fought by RNG. It just seemed that luck wasn't on their side tonight.
Yeah, there was some drafting issues in all of the games, so that's kind of the crux point where I would point. Royce could use some work on just his consistent laning in the top lane. Shield did look very strong in the last couple games. So they do have some bright spots. The bot lane, I don't feel like there's much to say about their bot lane in terms of RNG, but they did play quite well in all those games. Aside from the last one, they put up good fights in all of them. It's not like anywhere a massive salt.
Yeah.
So it was a very enjoyable series for me personally, even though I've spent the last 2 hours yawning because I've been up all day, but that's just, first shift
no excuse. We all do it. But like Primus said, great games, the ones that we saw tonight. If you tuned in, you watched a 3-0, but it was a 3-1 due to an FF in Game 1. That being said, it is Cosmic Riders who move on to the next stage of the playoffs. So good luck to them. Thank you, everybody who tuned in tonight. Once again, I'm the Doctor, being joined by none other than Primus. So stay tuned next week, guys. We will be back again. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Go congratulate the winning team. Give your condolences to the losing team. But it was GG's all around. So have a good one, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.